You are now listening to
the Primal Armor Podcast.
This episode is sponsored by Executive Fit LLC. They build custom deadlift platforms, custom barbell storage pieces, and make indoor and outdoor signage for your home or corporate gym. Every platform that pairs with a rack is customized to that specific rack, so everything fits nice and clean. And they ship nationwide. Each platform has a logo applied in a way that makes it impossible to peel up from wear and tear. They even make custom nameplates for your squat rack. Visit executivefitllc.com to request a quote and see what's available on their store. That's executivefitllc.com to upgrade your deadlift game today. Welcome back to episode 54 of the Primal Armor Podcast. This week, I want to branch off of our last episode of trying to play more sports and be more active instead of sitting around and watching sports on the couch. One of the best things that you can do for your overall health is just to get outside and enjoy nature. And this is both for your physical health and for your mental health. There's just so many things on the news and in social media that just try to bring us down and lead to so much stress in our lives because the world freaking sucks these days. It's so nice when you can distance yourself from that, get outside, and forget about all the bull crap that's going on around us. That mental break is something that every single person needs. The colors are about to start changing here soon, and all the plants and all the trees around. Take a break, get a chair and get on your front porch, and just enjoy some silence. And get out there while checking out the cool colors. Use it as a little bit of recovery time for your brain. There's going to be perfect weather for camping, so get outside, make a fire, cook your meals over it, and just get away from technology. This can also be something that helps with your personal relationships too. I was talking about this with a few of the guys that I work with the other day. We're so bad at social interaction these days. No one can start or keep a conversation. We're so used to texting or emailing and not needing to talk to someone face to face that we're just losing these skills altogether. The next generation, our kids' generation, is only going to be worse. We got phones in maybe middle school or high school age, and that's if we were lucky. But now, when a kid starts to cry, even if they're 1 or 2 years old, we just hand our phone or our iPad over to them. They won't ever know how to hold a normal conversation with someone. They'll just be engulfed in their phones and in their screens. And that's a problem. We need to get ourselves and our families outside more and away from this technology so we can practice these skills and build those relationships a lot more. I know as a dad, I really worry about losing my daughter one day to just being engulfed in her phone. I see all these different people out there when they're out to dinner or at the store, and they're not being present in the moment because they're engulfed in technology. You lose so many hours, so many days, so many memories, so many everything like that to things like this. Get away from technology and try to get outdoors for you and your family. We need to work on these social skills again and be better at relationships. And this will only help our mental health going forward. But not only does nature help with our mental health, it's so vital to our physical health as well. I was reading one of the most interesting articles the other day, and it's about how your environment affects your eyesight. We spend most of our times these days behind phones or computer screens, and then being locked up in buildings with little to no windows for sunlight to get through while we're at work. That's why most jobs are office jobs these days, and that fits in that category. And that's starting to affect our vision and causing us to need corrective lenses, whether that's contacts, glasses, or surgery. Good vision was necessary to our ancestors because that's how we hunt and forage for food, so it's vital for survival. So if bad eyesight was actually genetic, it would have been weeded out in the gene pool by now. Because survival of the fittest. You needed to have good eyesight to survive. If you had terrible eyesight, you would have been prey. You wouldn't have been able to hunt or forage for the right foods. You would have found wrong foods. You would have found poisonous foods because you weren't able to see them. You see what I'm getting at? You needed good eyesight to survive. Otherwise, we would have became prey and we would have died off because those are the families or family trees that wouldn't have made it because they wouldn't have been finding food. They would have been finding the wrong foods like poisonous foods and mushrooms and berries and stuff like that. You had to have good eyesight to survive. And it's still like that these days. Your eyes are the most important things to your body. They're one of the most important senses that you have. and you only get 2 of them, so you need to take care of them. Your eyes is surrounded by muscles, and just like any other muscle, if you don't use it, you lose it. By being cooped up and not using our eyes for long distances and not getting natural sunlight into our eyes daily, it's taking these muscles and making them weaker and weaker. Nearsightedness is not being able to see things from far away. As these muscles around our eye structure weaken, it causes our actual eye structure to lose its shape, and it begins to elongate or cause astigmatism. This change of shape causes the refraction of light in our eyes to change, and it makes our eyesight blurry because those rays aren't hitting at the right angle. The average room inside has 20 times less light than going outside on a sunny day. Your eyes need that intensity, and to train at looking at farther distances, to use those eye muscles and train them to be stronger. Otherwise, we'll just be needing stronger and stronger prescriptions every single year. We need to get outside to fix that. Enjoy some sunlight. Look at some cool views when going on hikes or traveling. This helps train our eyes in ways that we really never thought of before. I know I never would have thought that before I read that, but now that'll have me changing the way I live. Not only does sunlight help with our eyes, it also helps us get vitamin D that most of us lack. And all you need is about 20 or 30 minutes of sun each day. And you can pretty easily find that time in your day if you make health your priority enough, especially if you're taking the advice from last week's episode about getting away from watching as many sports. And getting that vitamin D is good for both your bone health and your skin health. And vitamin D helps with sunburns. That's another reason why people who go outside often and are exposed to the sun don't get sunburned as often or as quick. It's because their body has better skin health. Using sunblock cuts out the amount of vitamin D that you're getting. And this is why it's beneficial to get out early and often, as soon as the weather warms up, to build up that tolerance to the sun and to start getting that vitamin D, so you don't get sunburn as bad or as quick when that swimming weather comes. And nature also plays a huge role in our immune systems. Think about it. Kids back in the day would be outside all day long. They'd be playing sports, climbing trees, rolling around in the dirt. And that used to be the average childhood. But now it's being locked inside, playing video games. And hell, kids don't even get to go outside for recess anymore at school. They just get to e-learn from home. And now they use hand sanitizer every 10 seconds to help kill germs because they don't want any dirt on them. And now you're starting to see rampant allergies to all these different types of food. Kids are calling off sick from school all the time. They're being overweight, and they're just way less healthy than they ever have been. We've taken a step back because we're locking ourselves indoors with every single thing that we do and forgetting to go outside for fun. And this goes the same for adults too. There are way too many sick adults out there, and it's always the ones who are never going outdoors to do anything. And it's because nature is great at building our immune systems, so if you're not getting out there, you're not building it. You can't go wrong by getting outside and enjoying some nature. It's beneficial for our mental health and our physical health, and everyone can use that. So I challenge you to get outside today, especially before the weather changes and it makes it even harder to get out there and swim, hike, bike, run, or whatever else you like to do. The more and more we work towards a technology-driven society, the less and less that we're actually going to be getting outside, and the more and more we're going to be suffering from all the problems I was talking about earlier. So don't let that be you. Your physical and your mental health will thank you. Before we end today's episode, I'd like to give a quick shout out to Anchor Podcasts. They distribute this podcast, you guys, in just about any platform you may try to find us on, such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many, many more. All the recording, editing, and final touches are also done through Anchor, which makes getting the Primal Armor podcast out to you guys very quick, easy, and mobile. You guys can also submit questions or voice messages that I can add to our next episode. Go download the Anchor.fm app today to check out what it's all about. I just want to thank you for listening to today's podcast, and we'll see you back here again next week.